Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know what time it is. Now, like I said, I try to steer clear of controversy, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do and say what I want because I feel like it's that time of year. It's winter. It's time for hibernation, and there's a lot of people doing some shady stuff and thinking that it should float over everybody's head. And what I mean by that is I don't know what this sentiment, as far as like people being sentimental to the plight of somebody that's no good. Like, and it's crazy because you know, even though I ain't gonna put fools out there, there's people that I used to be cool with that at one time was staunch supporters in F this and F that. Anybody that's no good is trash, and then they switched up and be like, hey, you know, blacks, things have changed, you know, this and that. You know, the homies are not really focused on that. Like, what? Where in the hell did you hear that? Like, you know, people have grown up and they're not really tripping off that. And I'm gonna just tell you, like I tell them, nobody's telling you to go out and do nothing to these people. If I was you, I would outright avoid them, because at the end of the day, anything that you do to them and it don't silence them, they're gonna turn around and tell on you anyway, because they're prone to doing that. That's what they're known for, and that's why I never get on here and advocate that. Like, you know what? Every time you catch one, you go look for these fools, do this, because for one, it's only gonna get you caught up. Now it's different. You cross paths with one, it is what it is. You know what you signed up for, and if you know who he is and you choose to let him slide, that's just you. That's your conscience. That's something you gotta live with. If ain't nobody there to witness it, ain't nobody gonna know but the fool that crossed paths with you. Maybe he'll put you out on social media like, yeah, this fool talked all this mess, ran into me, then didn't do nothing, and he knew that I was trash, he knew I was a 2-5er, he knew I was this, and he didn't do nothing about it. Now that's a different story. Now, one thing, people probably won't believe him, but there's going to be a vast amount of people that do, because there's always somebody that want to see you fail. Now, I don't suffer from that, and I doubt that I ever will, because 9 out of 10 I cross paths with any of them, get busy. Like, it's just more than likely it's cracking, unless I'm like with my kids. But other than that, more than likely it's cracking. It ain't gotta be like I'm trying to put these fools out their misery, but you know, I might punch on something, you know what I mean? Now, why'd I say might? There's no might to it. I'm gonna punch on something, because that's just the way it go. But I got all these fools that at one time were just like I said, solid and staunch supporters of crush these fools by any means necessary. Now, reneging and backpedaling hard as hell, and I'm starting to realize why some of them do that, because some of them got family members that they're close to that are no longer any good, and now they see the plight of the trash. You know, they see the plight of those who can no longer walk the yard, and it's one thing, okay, you can no longer walk the yard, but you don't go to jail no more. But no, these dudes are constantly in and out of jail, but they got to go to them other yards because they're trash. And now I got fools that outright support them, like, yeah, you know, my primo was this, or my brother was this, or, you know, they were solid dudes, they were forced into this. I'm not going to get into politics. It's not comparing apples to oranges. It's just to be like, I don't get it, dude. At this age, of course, I'm not out there looking for these dudes or even looking for any issue with them. I don't like them. They know it, and it just is what it is. Don't mean they occupy this space in my head all the time. The only time they're up here is when I hear about them or whatever, or when I got fools that, you know, switch up and be like, oh, well, you know, my primo or this and that. I don't care about your primo. That fool, you know, he already know what I think about any of them. You know what I mean? But like, I don't get it, dude. And the funny thing, it's not even the young fools, dude. Like, fools like to blame the youngsters for everything. All the youngsters, they ain't got crash. Some fools don't. But then these other fools, oh, they ain't got clear shot. Then you see them online and fools be like, oh, look at this fool. Oh, it's still good. It's still, what they say? Oh, it's still popular to be a gangster? Like, that's so stupid. And then you look at these fools and half their pages on some gang stuff. You just got older. So now somehow you're far removed from that, because you no longer take part in the bull. A lot of you created this. A lot of you created fools following in your footsteps. If it wasn't dads, it was uncles. It wasn't uncles, it was cousins. It was somebody influence this. And a lot of fools that I know that are Bonnaroo like that, they influence that. They want their sons to be gangbangers. They want their son to be part of their bottom. Some don't. The smart ones don't, but the other ones that are just so far involved in it mentally, that they want their family. They want a line thing, and some of them, they've come from lines themselves, from grandpas on down, and their kids are involved in, their kids are involved in it. So it's like generational. But I just don't understand the lure, the pull to support anybody that's no good. And I'm gonna tell you straight out, don't let these fools fool you. Don't let these vatos fool you. I've seen a gang of them on PC's pages giving loves and likes, and I won't even put fools out there. I just don't deal with them no more. But I've seen it. I've seen these fools be like, yeah, you know, or that's right, homie, like, you know, that's just stupid. Like, you did not even like you did the right thing, but like giving these fools passes like it's all good. And it ain't to pander to them, because you don't pander to them, period. You don't have to give these fools prep talks. It's not like you're trying to get these fools to come so you can do something to them. No, you're only giving them prep talks because in some cases, a lot of you, not even a lot, but some of the dudes that be doing that probably gonna end up checking in themselves. They're already tired of the game. They got themselves involved in something that they didn't think, they didn't figure that was going to be long term, or they figured that it was going to be long term, but they get to a point that they're like, man, I want to go on about my life, but since I got these certain ties, I can no longer move around without informing somebody of something, you know what I mean? And they don't no longer want to do that, so they're looking for an outlet. They're looking for something and approval from the masses to be like, man, you know, it's all around, homie, you know, it's time to lay back anyway. And I can get to a certain extent why fools wouldn't want to continue bumping their heads, but it's like, look, dude, you signed up for what you signed up for. You don't have to be on these fools' pages giving love to them. All you have to do is just go on about your business, dude. I can name you off my friends list multiple people that are going to their sons' baseball games. Don't matter what state it's in, don't matter if it's in Hawaii, it don't matter if they got to travel to Mexico. These dudes are traveling and making sure their sons and their daughters do exactly what they need to do to push forward, not involving them in gangs, not trying to dress the part for them or try to make them emulate them in any way. They're pushing forward, dude. These dudes got nice cars, nice trucks, a house, they got their wives, and the ones that don't got wives, they you know, they still handling their business, are heavily involved in the church. They're doing something. They're not doing what they used to do. But they're also even though they're changed, man, they're not on social media condoning fools locking it up and giving them excuses on why they locked it up. If you locked it up, you know why you locked it up. I'm not going to get into who's weak and who's not. You already know what time it is. You know my train of thought when it comes to that. Like I said, it's not in here 24/7 because a lot of times I don't think about it. I'll be on my own page. Like my son out there doing his thing right now. After the video, I'll be right back out there with him. But you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of other things to do with your time than jumping on a PC's page and trying to make good with them. And especially if you're not doing it to get to a certain point, you know what I mean? You're not doing it to make them cool with you so you can do something to them. You're just being cool with them because you got soft. And I don't get it, dude. Like I said, there's a lot of youngsters that they may not know it all, but they know well enough to know that leave them alone. Don't bother them. They don't bother you. Don't interact with them, homie or not. I don't care if you've been from my bottom for 20 years. If you're trash, you ain't no good, don't come around. Simple as that. I'm not going out looking for you. They got other people that can, you know, I'm not going out looking for you, but you won't be around me. That's just how it is. And yeah, it may be like, man, you know, but you chose that life, dude. You could have went any route, but you chose to be a gangbanger. You chose to get yourself involved in it, especially if you've been to prison. Like, you chose to get involved in it. So you knew what it was. You know, there's always a possibility when you're in this gang that somebody that you may have been cool with at one time is going to be no good. You prepare for that in prison. You prepare for knowing that all these 20 or 200 fools that's outside working out, that 9 out of 10, there's gonna be a good amount of them that, even if it's like 5 out of the 200, that ain't gonna be no good. in the time that you leave prison, and the time that you touch it, and the time that you stop going to prison, them fools ain't gonna be no good. That's why fools don't mention names, and not like, you know what I mean. But that's why fools don't be like, oh, I was with your homie. A lot of times fools don't want to do that because there's been a lot of cases fools be like, oh yeah, I was with your homie over here, and be like, oh, that fool ain't no good. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, even people that you think are the most solid, everybody has their breaking point. Some people don't allow themselves to get to that point to where they hit that breaking point. Some have been pushed to the precipice and was able to be like, nah, I'd rather just, you know, I'd rather something happen to me than to go out that way. And there's a lot that have been like that. It's not impossible. There's a lot that have went out like that. They refused and they died, but they refused. It's just the way it is, dude. You know what I mean? And this is not even on no prison politics. This is just straight out. Like, stop catering to PCs. Because I'm tired of getting into fools that covet these fools. Stop catering to PCs. You don't got to give them props. Let them go on about their business. They want to raise their family. They want to be out the way. Let them be out the way. Now, if they come on social media and they spewing their nonsense and they all up in business that involve nothing, that don't involve them, then they can end up like that dude, Cabbage Studios. It is what it is. Like, remember that other fool? Like, he was on there for a second, and then I told him straight out, like, you stupid. You got a good job. You working for the union, and you want to come on social media to expose who you are? And knowing the cities that you in, it's not even LA, but he knew what city he was in. I said, dude, they gonna wipe you out there. Like, all I know, IE is grimy, dude. So I was like, dude, like, you stupid. Like, to even, you pressing your luck, dude, that you ain't gonna run across somebody that's gonna be, and look it, fools get God all the time, dude. All I'm gonna say, don't covet these fools and stop blaming on the youngsters that they don't know, because it's a lot of you older dudes that feel like you're beyond it. You ain't never beyond it, dog. You may be out of the game, but you still part of it, dude. There's no covenant, there's no kicking with PCs, and no kicking with none of them, especially a 2-5. Like, you gotta be crazy. That's like a whole different level. That ain't just like they locked it up and kicked it. These like superior trash, like. But that's all I'm gonna say about that, dude. This video, I wanted to talk about something totally different, but then I thought about this and all this stuff that's happening right now. It just makes you want to just keep your distance from a lot of people. But that's me, period. You know what I mean? I'm going about handling my business, trying to get my money the way I get it, and continue pushing forward. And with that being said, your boys, I'm out.